explained that the budget was revised to reflect the new realities and challenges confronting his administration in the state. Well, that's where we'll begin this morning. Umeze, he has presented the budget to the House, and it seems higher than what the past administration, presented during its time. Tell us more about this budget, the importance, the implication, and all of that.
Okay, I think that we need to go back to where Professor Soludo, Mr. Governor, is coming from.
Okay.
At the time, the budget which we're implementing now was presented as a draft by the Obiano administration.
Okay.
That was last year.
Yes.
A lot of things that have happened between then and now did not happen. I give you, first and foremost, there was the election of Mr. Governor, Soludo. Then there was a transition committee set up by him. Okay. Then there was also the submission of the Anambra Vision 2070 committee report. Okay? The transition committee and the Vision 2070 reports were not on ground then. There was no way Governor Obiano would have known what the transition committee would have done, and there was no way he would have known what the Vision 2070 committee would be, what their final recommendations will be. Okay? Now, when Governor Soludo took over in March, on March 17th, he said he was going to operate from three blueprints, if you like. The Vision 2070 blueprint, of which he was chairman, then the transition committee report, and then his manifesto, the People's Manifesto for a Greater Anambra. All those three documents were not part of the previous budget. So when Soludo hit the ground, he had to look at what is available, bearing in mind what is expected, first and foremost from his manifesto, the People's Manifesto, then the Transition Committee report, and then the Vision 2070 recommendations. So automatically you see that there needed to be a change. If there is a surprise, to me, if there is a surprise, the surprise is that the difference in the Obiano budget and the Soludo draft is not much. It's just approximately about 30 billion.
Okay.
And
you say that is not much?
It's not much. When you consider what we expect to get from Vision 2070, what we expect to do in the next 1 year so that we can be online to moving towards Vision 2070.
I was going to ask, how sustainable is that vision? Because we understand how it is, how things are run in the country.
Yeah.
And it's always good to have a vision. It's always good to have a dream. This is a 2070 dream.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
How sustainable is this vision?
Very, very sustainable. And that's why it's important that we're having this discussion now. And it should be discussed more. If you don't plan for the future will eventually come.
Yes.
And you will find yourself unprepared. But one of the issues that Governor Soludo started dealing with from day one is the issue of refuse at Opuko.
Okay.
Why is that? Why did that happen? Because we were not working our plans. If there was a plan at all in the first place. All right? So, but if you have a vision and then you plan and you work it, you will not have such situations.
We've always had this issue of inconsistency, or rather continuity when it comes to government or governance in Nigeria.
Yes.
So you talked about if there was a plan on ground. Okay, let's assume now this present administration have a plan on ground.
Yes.
What's the hope that it will be continued if this administration pass over the mantle to the next?
That's why Vision 2070 is very critical.
What if the next government comes and doesn't want to align with the 27th?
It is going to be very, very difficult, particularly as Governor Soludo has started working on it. But the key point here is that Vision 2070 had as members people from all shades of opinion. It wasn't an ABGA. Yes, it was set up by an ABGA governor. But members were not drawn from just ABGA. They were drawn from all over the place. All right? Professionals, partisan politicians, and so on and so forth. So it's an Anambra plan. It's an Anambra plan. It's not an ABGA government plan. It's not a Soludo plan or an Obiano plan.
All right, let's look critically now at the role of budgeting, the role of this budget in Anambra State.
Yes.
What are the various roles this budget will be playing?
First and foremost, we look at where the major increase went. The major increase went to Ministry of Works.
Works, yes, he said that.
Okay, and that's not surprising because during his campaign and immediately after election, Governor Soludo declared that he said he was going to declare a state of emergency on roads.
Okay.
Yes, we complain, those of us who live here, but if you also go out, you will find that our roads are not.
Yes,
they are not the worst. But we complain because we have an idea of what our expectations are, and some of the roads that have, that have gone bad or that are failing, we knew what they were before. But as part of Working Vision 2070, you need to have those roads.
Okay.
The ones that are failing and the ones that have failed, you need to have them fixed.
Okay.
You need to build more roads.
Okay.
If you have to work Vision 2070. So that's why you will find that there's a lot of increase on.
Yeah, he said over
Yes.
33% of the budget will go on roads.
Yes.
But let's talk about the fact that, yes, that's a good call, a
Yes.
good one.
Yes.
But would you do all of those things when there is a challenge when it comes to the security and lives of property of the citizens? Because I know the last administration worked night and day to make sure that the citizens are safe, and it looks as if most of the things the last administration did was to make sure that security was top-notch in the state, which a lot of people were affirmed to that. Right now, if you're putting a whole lot to works, which we know it's very important, how about the security aspect?
No, but Governor Soludo said in that budget speech that he's very much aware of the critical role of security. Okay? But when you're doing budgeting, there are constraints.
Yeah.
So it's about prioritizing. Okay? Now, he said that he will be able to work with what had been provided. Okay? And that's, of course, bearing in mind that it's not a question of, a budget is not a wish list.
Okay.
Okay? It's a plan which you intend to implement.
Yes.
So you can't just say, oh, I need 200 billion. If you need 200 billion, where is it going to come from? Is it going to be internally generated? Are you depending on the federal government? Are you going to take loans? Okay, and then if you're taking loans, how do you intend to pay? So he's taking all that into consideration. And what he's trying to do is to work on a tight budget. He wants to be able to use that which had been provided for security. He believes that he can use it to secure Anambra even better than it was before. Don't forget that one of the first things that Governor Soludo did when he came in was to hold town hall meetings. Okay? He's done about 4 or 5 such meetings. But even before coming out to the to the public to engage stakeholders, he had been working individually on the security issues. I'm aware of it. It's not, security is not an issue you discuss so openly. It's okay. Yeah, we all know that last week, or was it week before last, he went to see Nnamdi Kanu. But that will not be his first contact with IPOB. I've been meeting with IPOB. His lieutenants have been meeting with IPOB. They've been meeting with various shades of the people involved in the area of security before the first town hall meeting.
Still on this budget draft, this Anambra draft budget, what hope do the local government have? Because it looks as if in all of this, the local government, over the years, the local government have been sidelined. And I know during his campaign, he talked about within the first 6 months or thereabout or a year, that the local government will have an election and, you know, people will come into power and that particular
I think that the local government in Anambra State will change for the better. Yes, like you said, Professor Soludo said he was going to allow them have their autonomy as it should be. But if you look at the things that he has done between when he came and now, you will see that yes, he's working that plan. He wants the local governments to be on their own. Okay, I believe strongly that, like he said, within 1 year, he is going to have local government elections. For instance, I'm aware that he is not prepared to discuss the issue of transition committee chairman and so on and so forth. And that is aimed at fast forwarding the local government elections so that you have duly, properly elected local government chairman, not appointed. So the local government system, I believe, will begin to work. Even before the elections, we see traces of autonomy being, given to them.
All right, so let's talk about the still on the budget, 170 billion rather, was presented to the House, and you talked about how would this money be generated?
Yes.
Is it going to be through loans? Is it going to be internally generated and all of that? How do we intend to, finance this budget?
It's stated there in the budget. But a great deal of it is going to come from IGR, federal government, that what we get by revenue allocation. We're also hopeful that we'll get some funding now that we've joined the oil producing states.
And the ministry has been created for that too.
Yes. Now, the governor did say that he was going to do some creative financing, as it were. He was going to work with multilateral agencies to see how he can raise funds. And I believe one of the reasons for that is so that the interest rates are not so high, and that, of course, when such agencies are giving you money, they will also make sure that you do exactly what you said you're going to do. So part of it is going to come from multilateral agencies and some part of it from private-public partnership.
All right, if you're just joining us, this is Good Morning Anambra, and we have been discussing about the revised Anambra draft budget. Of course, a few days ago, the governor of the state, Anambra State, Professor Charles Soludo, presented 170 billion naira to the House, and gave some explanation on how he intends to raise the money and what the money will be used for. And of course, we've been discussing that this morning with Sir Obi Meze in the House, who's a public affairs analyst. So you can also join in the discussion this morning. The numbers are there on your screen. Call us and get involved. You can contribute, you can ask questions. We'll be here to take all of that. Back to you now. Let's talk about the challenges of implementing this budget, because it's one thing to present the budget to the House. It's another thing to implement this budget. What are the challenges of implementing budget? Because over the years, past administrations, budget is presented to the House. A particular money is allocated for different ministries and all of that. By the end of it all, it looks as if the year just rolls by, another government comes, take over, and nothing is done.
That will not be true for Anambra State, at least in the last 8 years that I have been here. Anambra has, and it's not from Anambra State records alone. You can look at various sources that analyze budgets and their implementation. I think the lowest that Anambra has had in the last 8 years will be about 70%. That is, they have implemented 70% of what they said they will do. Usually it's between 80 and 90. And that was in a government that was not run by an economist. That was a government run by immediate past governor, Chief Willie Obiano. Now, you have a former governor of CBN as your governor. But the worst that we can expect, is to have the same implementation rate, i.e. worst case scenario of 70%. But from the way I see it, I believe that we're likely going to be looking at something between 90% and 100%. Okay, Anambra at least has proven since Governor Peter Obi's days, which is about 17 years now. Okay, Anambra has proven that budget is not a wish list, as you find in most states of Nigeria. I don't want to talk about certain states that they give their budget every year. It has to have some highfalutin title, theme, whatever you call it. At the end of then next year they come, they don't tell you about what happened to those big grammar they blew, as it were. Okay? No, not in Anambra State. You can always check. All right? The Federal Office of Statistics, all the various rating agencies rate Anambra, in the last 16 years, actually, rate Anambra well when it comes to doing what they said they will do. And we expect it to get better under Governor Soludo.
All right, we expect it to get better. Still moving on, the Anambra State, the draft budget, the governor presented to the House. Let's look at the economic activities of Anambra State. What are some of the economic activities of the state that we're hoping, that could actually give the state a facelift?
I will want to start first. There are so many things that can be done, of course, in addition to what is going on now. But talking from the budget, one of the key items in the budget is the fact that, and this goes back to address one of the issues you raised before, continuity, when I talked about Vision 2070. When there is a good policy, a generally accepted policy, the tendency to continue will be there irrespective of the government. Now, if you look at Governor Wuli Obiano's project, one of his major innovations in governance, which is the Community Choose Your Project initiative. He pegged it at 2 billion. That enabled Governor Obiano to touch every community in Anambra State 2 times. Okay? Yes, when he first talked about the idea, he was hoping that he would do it about 3 or 4 times before leaving office. Okay? But eventually it was done 2 times. Now, Soludo has come, and Soludo agrees with that idea. And he has increased it from 20 million, which Obiano was given, to 25 million per community. You talk about economic activity. Now, what the 25 million does is not just that it gives you government presence. Okay? It increases the circulation of money in the community. It empowers the community, because the people who are going to be involved in delivering the project are people from within the community. Okay? So it has a multiplier effect, okay, on money in circulation and empowerment and so on and so forth in that community. Okay, so and there is a trickle down effect beyond the community itself, if you get me. So that's one of the economic activities. The roads, for instance, yes. Oh yeah, you voted 50 billion for roads. It's not just about asphalting. I don't know if you follow the point I'm making. You're going to be spending, if you are pumping 50 billion into roads, you will find it in even in the fish market. That's economic activity. Okay. Because the contractors that you're giving these jobs they'll pay their workers. They will, as they are walking on the road, they will buy even from Mama Put and so on and so forth. So the economy will be reflated. So in addition to the various activities we have now, we're going to have increased activity. Money in circulation will increase. More people will have more money. That is, those who are ready to work, those who are ready to create value, and so on and so forth. Yes.
All right, it's time for us to go to the streets and get to hear what people have to say about the budget. When we return, of course, our guest at the house, Obi Meze, will be telling us the importance of this budget and at the end of the day, what we intend to achieve with the implementation of this budget. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
That was drafted by the new governor, Professor Soludo, is a welcome development. As an economist and a professor, he knows the best way he can go because the new administration just started, and as it was said that there is no enough money left for him to begin his work. So I believe that with the submission of the new budget, he knows what he wants for the state.
The state can achieve what is in the new budget through the revenue. The revenue is in the sense that what people give to the government, what government generates into the box, into the state account. Government or governor can achieve his budget through that. Another one is through federal allocation. We all know that allocation comes to the state pocket in every month. So government can achieve its budget through that.
The budget has to do with the total income and expenditure of a state or an organization within a time frame, isn't it? Okay. And I believe that the state has already had a budget before the advent of the administration. What happened to the one that has been in place, if I may ask? Because I heard there was a reverse on the previous budget. What prompted the action? Okay, I may say that the governor is an economist. Maybe he must have seen something that needs to be reviewed for the good of the people. So I believe that it is also important for the government, after reversing the budget and making some input, should go ahead and implement the budget. Looking at the states as things are not easy. Things are very difficult for the people. So what the state should do is to make sure that the government budget is implemented to the full. Because what has been the problem of our country, our governance system, is a non-implementation of budget proposals. And I believe the state can go ahead to implement all that is in the budget, having in mind that the education sector is very, very important. It is one of the sectors that when you look at and try to work on, we change the entire face or facet of the economy. Then also looking at the manpower and the production area, the industrial sector. It is very also important for the state to revisit it.
We're glad to have you back. Good morning, Anambra is still here, and we've been talking about the revised Anambra draft budget, and we're just back from the streets. A lot of people had the opinions. The budget, some people felt since it actually increased from what it used to be in the past administration to what it is right now, that they are optimistic that he saw something important, and that's why he probably has increased it. Back to you. Obi Meze is still with us. Obi is still with us in the house, and he's been talking deeply critically about the Anambra draft budget. What's the importance of this budget? Because there are high hopes everywhere.
Yeah.
A lot of people, the Anambra is confident. And the Anambra is, they have this belief, they're positive that Professor Charles Soludo will bring the needed change they've been yearning for. And tell us the importance of this budget, having increased from 141 in the past administration to 170. What would we be expecting?
We'll be expecting increased economic activities. That's one, because it means more money in the system. So economic activities will increase. Okay? Poverty rate will further reduce. Anambra has one of the lowest poverty rates in Nigeria. Poverty rates will further reduce. More and more people will be in gainful employment. Okay? If you take the roads, for instance, where you're pumping in 50 billion, most of some of us expect to have some new contractors coming in. That is road construction companies coming in. They come in, they will employ more people. Okay? They employ more people. That's lots of people taking off the job market. Okay? So a lot is expected and a lot will be derived from the increase, in the budget.
Right, a lot is expected, a lot will be derived from the increase of the budget, the revised budget.
Yeah.
Before we go, because time is not our friend, we'll have to leave soon. What would be your message to the Anambra? Because, like I said, a lot of high hopes. People are positive that this present administration would do well. What would be your message to them as Governor Soludo continues to win? Because a lot of people feel he just got into power, he just got into leadership. He should be given more time. He should be given time, for him to settle down, for things to, start moving. What will your message to the Anambra? Because right now they're expecting that things.
No, my message to the Anambra is that they should continue to support Governor Soludo. If they were supporting him 70%, they should try moving closer to 100.
110.
Yes, or more. It's not just because he's an economist or all the things we have said. He has worked hard to be there.
Okay.
It's not like those who become accidental governors. He's wanted to be there since 2010, and now he's there. He knows, you look at his manifesto, the People's Manifesto for a Greater Anambra, you will know that he has thought through what the challenges of the Anambra are, and that he has come with solution. Incidentally, that's one of his, he says solution is here. So I think in the Anambra should continue to support the government because solution is here.
All right, in the Anambra, you've heard it from Sir Obi Meze. He says continue to support the present administration because solution is here. Well, we cannot wait. Everybody in Anambra State will be expecting to see the solution, kickstart any moment from now. And this is exactly what we're drawing the curtains on today's edition of the program, the revised Anambra Draft Budget on Good Morning Anambra. And of course, I want to say a very big thank you to our guest this morning, Sir Obi Meze, a public affairs analyst. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right, until we come your way tomorrow, I'm very gonna bye for now.